Welcome back to the lineup. Wrapping up shop, it's Ryan Croak and Jake Bowen here. Finishing up with some NFL picks, some NFL awards picks, some futures picks, I think is a better way to call it. Mid-season picks, we'll call it that. MVP, Super Bowl favorite, and dark horse in the NFL, around a little bit past the halfway mark. We're going to start with MVP. Jake, who you got?
I have Jonathan Taylor. And at this point, through 10 weeks, he's having a better season than Saquon Barkley did last year in 10 weeks. And Saquon Barkley had over 2,000 yards rushing. Taylor has 1,139 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per carry. All of those marks more than Barkley had up to this point. And I think people have been hyping up Daniel Jones, and he's the reason why Indianapolis is 8-2. And while he's definitely in the conversation for a comeback player of the year, it's been Jonathan Taylor who's been controlling the game, controlling possession for the Colts, and I think he is the main reason while they're 8-2.
I'm not going to argue with that. My main counter to this is going to be the fact that I don't think the Colts are going to continue this hot start by the year's end. And I think that Jonathan Taylor's only way to an MVP award is if the Colts are somehow 14-3, 15-2 by the end of the year, clearly atop the AFC and look like one of the best offenses we've ever seen. I don't think it's going to happen. It's been shown earlier in the year the path to stopping the Colts is stopping Jonathan Taylor like the Steelers did in that win over them a couple weeks ago. I just don't think, again, it's also a quarterback's award. I think JT is more than deserving of the recognition of being in the conversation, and I hope he gets some votes, but a running back's not winning this award. It just is not going to happen anytime soon. And Jonathan Taylor, credit to him. He's having a phenomenal season. Should be a lock for Offensive Player of the Year, but I don't think he's going to win the MVP. My MVP, talked about him last segment, Drake May. And I really don't think that there is an argument against him. Hear me out, Jake. If the New England Patriots, as I mentioned, who have the best chance of being the AFC 1 seed, by the way, if they finish atop the AFC, there is nothing you can dock on Drake May's play this year. He has been absolutely superb. Completion percentage above 70. He's third in passing yards, second in yards per attempt, second in completion percentage, tied for third in passing touchdowns. The only person among the top 5 in passing yards with a better touchdown-interception ratio is Matthew Stafford. And he has 8 straight games this season of a passer rating of 100 or higher. That joins names like 2007 Tom Brady, on, maybe the greatest football team of all time with Randy Moss and the regular season undefeated New England Patriots. He has been the best deep throw quarterback in football, and he's been exceptional at throwing the ball into tight windows. He's looked the part, and his numbers are also adding to his case. I don't think there's a thing that he has the wins, he's going to have the playoff seeding, and he has the numbers and the eye test all going for him. There's not a quarterback in the league who's going to stand out to his case by year's end. I think Matt Stafford's the only one who can do it, and the argument I'll have against that is, what if the Rams don't win the NFC West, which is totally on the board because Seattle has looked exceptional, and it's totally on the board that Stafford's going to be a wild card quarterback and not a division winner. And if that happens, I don't think you can give it to him over a guy who's leading a team in the Patriots that has not the most talented offense in the world at atop the AFC, even with their schedule. I think it has to be May. It has to be.
I look at Matthew Stafford, who I think is the comparison for the quarterback for the MVP. And I look at strength of schedule because I think if you're the most valuable player, you have to come into play against good teams. And I think Drake May, he got dealt a good stack of teams. He plays the Jets and Bills a total of 4 times a year. I think Matt Stafford has those tough schedule of the NFC West, and he's proven it thus far. Colts, Ravens, and Niners all wins. Yes, the Patriots have Drake May has beaten Buffalo and Tampa Bay, but if Matt Stafford can continue, even if he's a wild card team, if this team is 14-3 and they're a wild card team like the Vikings were last season, and Stafford's playing elite, 25-2 best touchdown interception ratio of his career, he can really run away with this AFC.
I don't know about run away with it. I think the margin for error for Stafford is slimmer than it is for Drake May, and I think that when you're playing a team like Seattle still coming up, who has a defense that has looked elite, it's totally on the board that Stafford has a game or two that slips up that touchdown-interception ratio. As you mentioned, the best of his career by a long shot. I think he's going to have some regression to the mean at some point in the near future.
I think May could have a regression this season.
I disagree. I think that he's been consistently exceptional this year. We saw this in him last year. Not that again, Stafford's got a more extensive body of work compared to Drake May. We still haven't seen what Drake May's floor and consistency level, or like mean quality of play is, or in the way we have with Matt Stafford. I think Drake May is the MVP favorite. I think he's going to win it by the end of the year, and we'll see what happens. If the Patriots have the 1 seed, it's going to be hard to argue against Drake May. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
Moving on now to our Super Bowl favorites. Who do you got, Jake?
It's going to be an NFC team. And because the AFC right now is just very weak, I think, in terms of top teams. I think it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams.
When your 37-year-old veteran quarterback is playing the best season of his career, Stafford also will be in the Hall of Fame, then I think the Los Angeles can really go on a run. And they have the pieces surrounding him. Kyron Williams is a very solid running back. Devontae Adams leads the league in touchdowns. Puka Nacua is third in the league in receiving yards.
Missed time too.
Yeah, he did miss time. And that defense, while it's not the best, it's 11th in the NFL. They have the 4th best turnover ratio. Los Angeles has all the parts. They just have to play well, and they're playing well right now, and I think they can continue to do that.
My reservations with the Rams, again, come from this sort of, in the back of my head, I just do not think that Stafford's play is sustainable. I think that he gets a little bit too much credit for that Super Bowl win. Not saying he wasn't exceptional, but I think he got thrust into this tier of, if you have Stafford, you can win the championship. I don't think he's quite on that tier of quarterback. He's not on the Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, or, well, maybe not Lamar Jackson, but Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes level of, if you have him, you have a shot. I don't think Stafford's in that tier, personally. But the Rams are a really solid team, and I like the take. I think they have the defense is solid. I think they have the pieces to do it. But here's a team that I'm picking, and this is also an NFC team, and you want to talk about experience, and you want to talk about proven winners. There's none better than the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the defending Super Bowl champions for a reason. They have a quarterback who is a playoff riser and a proven winner. Not the flashiest stats in the world, but he's not ever going to cost you a game. He's never going to cost you a game. And I think that's where Matt Stafford maybe could. Not likely, but it's on the board. I don't think it's on the board for Jalen Hurts. This offense has looked anemic. And they're 7-2 atop the NFC, and they really haven't had all that much trouble along the way. This defense is supremely slept on. Their numbers are deceiving. They've played a gauntlet of great offensive teams, and they've shut down all of them. This defense is elite. The offense, if it figures it out, this team is going to be a juggernaut, and they already are atop the NFC as it stands, with the offense looking as poor as it has. There is nobody in the NFC who can stand up to Philadelphia, especially if that offense figures it out.
I think there's two issues. The first is that it's hard to go back-to-back. And now I know teams have done it, but I think it's really hard, especially in the National Football League, to go back-to-back. Second reason is Saquon Barkley. Last year, Saquon Barkley had a season of his career. This season, he averaged 2.7 yards per carry against the Packers, and he's averaging 3.9 on the season, which is pretty good generally, but it's his second worst season in terms of yards per carry of his career, and he's 15th in the league in rushing yards. He has been playing well, and if Saquon Barkley is not playing elite as last season, Jalen Hurts gets all the burden, and I don't think he is the quarterback that can sustain it. I think he needs a running game.
I think he'll be fine. I think he's shown this season he'll be fine. We'll see what happens. But I think that they're definitely going to have no problem with the Rams, who they've owned the last few years with Jalen Hurts under center. Moving on now quickly to our dark horse candidates. I'll go first for this one. Okay. It's my New England Patriots. They are going to have the number 1 seed in the AFC, and when you have the number 1 seed, you have a path. They're going to have that first-round bye. They're going to have a home field advantage in the playoffs, and honestly, if they win one game, they're in the AFC Championship game. And the way I see it, if you're hosting the conference championship game, you absolutely have a chance at winning a Super Bowl.
Well, I think if you're
watching, as simple as that.
I think if you're watching this show right now and you have a bet on Ryan Crook and Jake Bone agreeing, well, you just cashed out, because I have the New England Patriots as well.
Wow!
Listen,
unbelievable!
This team is a dark horse.
No way!
Because they're the top seed, but they're a dark horse because I think Drake May could at one point just fall off. But I think if this team is hot and this team is excelling at their highest level, I really think the Patriots can win it all.
Oh my goodness! Look at that! Not something I expected coming into this show, but it just made my day. The New England Patriots, your dark horse Super Bowl team, and they're going to have the 1 seed in the AFC. That just goes to show how easy their schedule is, that they're a dark horse with probably the number 1 seed in the conference. That does it for this week's edition of The Lineup. Ryan Croak and Jake Bowen saying thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll see you all next time.